Winding road, I see the sun that glows in every crack, in every stone where wildflowers grow. The whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. The river runs its course, it bends but never breaks, just like the choices that we make, the chances that we take. A violin begins to hum, it weaves a silver thread through symphonies of sorrow and the words we've left unsaid. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note of melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
Morning. We just changed our Southwest flight to stay an extra day. Didn't have to pay a fee.
Beautiful. Our kids won't miss us. They're in Mima.
Mima.
We're in love! Again!
Change your flight without a fee. That's a big flex.
Silver thread through symphonies of sorrow and the words we've left unsaid. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note of melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. Yo, it's the echoes of the past, the lessons in the cracks. We're patching up the holes in all the love we lack. Life's a dance, a crazy chance, a waltz beneath the moon. Keep the rhythm steady, cause the dawn is coming soon. So take a bow and play your part, no matter how it stings. The world will turn, the tune will change, but love's what always clings. The violin, it softly cries, the stars begin to fall. Through tangled heartstrings we will rise, we'll conquer after all. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
met an English guy in Canada, and we just did stuff together for like 4 days.
Well, there was one summer where I did like a New York weekend trip away, and we took a helicopter ride over the city. We did break up very shortly after that, but the trip was a lot of fun.
See, it's not one that I ever actually had. I seem to remember a friend of mine having sort of a fling in college, or when he was home from college.
Anything interesting happen?
I mean, it feels like it's one of those standard, just kind of summer love kind of things that just kind of ended, and everybody went their separate ways.
Oof. Well, I used to go to Mexico to play basketball when I was younger in college. So my friends used to go and do crazy stuff and party all night and then come to the rooms. And the next day going to the games was a little bit difficult.
So a lot of hangovers.
Yeah, a lot of hangovers during games.
Anyone threw up on the court?
No, but I threw up in the bus on the way to the court.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm a millennial, so I've heard a lot of quite scary stories.
Understandable.
But some of my friends that are single, what they do is they have summer flings where they travel to. So they've got a boo in every area country, city, town, whatever.
Yeah.
And every time they travel during the summer, they hit them up, and that's their vacation boo. So I mean, it works for them, and I respect it. I don't have time for it, but
hey, that's okay. We all have our own, unique experiences.
Yes.
Yes.
No. I've never canceled for not having a summer body now.
No, because I don't think I've ever had the perfect summer body.
Everybody has the perfect summer body. Be you.
That's okay. That's fair. Okay.
Not necessarily. I've been with her 24 years, so probably I never had the perfect body.
Man, you look better than me. You look great, honestly.
No.
Okay.
Never.
We've got some confidence over here now.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tangled Heartstrings, and welcome to summer. Yes, I know it's the hottest time of the year, but it's also the time of the year that we want to be the hottest. Who wants to feel the need to cover up in sweatpants and long sleeves when it's so hot out? But that summer body isn't what you think it should be. A summer body is all about confidence and not looks. If you feel confident in that bikini or Speedo, put it on and hit the beach. Because remember, only our own opinions matter. Andrea, TJ, let's get to untangling those heartstrings of summer love. Whether they are love or the
Hello to everybody in the comment section already. We're glad you guys are here. I love talking about summer flings. I like talking about flings. They're just fun. But, people do summer flings for different reasons. They might be going back to school, or they just want to kind of get it out of their system before they get into like a real relationship. So I'm ready to dive in. TJ?
It is your triumphant trio back with another Sunday session of Untangling Heartstrings. Tonight's session has me really thinking about a hit summer fling movie, Grease. I know you guys want to tell me more about your summer flings.
Yes, we do.
Summer love it. Oh my gosh. Well, summer flings can be fun and free and exactly what some people need in the moment. But every now and then something happens and it doesn't exactly go as planned, right? The connection kind of lingers, or it doesn't, and it ends abruptly, and people kind of freak out at the end because maybe they weren't ready for that. But if you're starting out something kind of casual, that can sometimes shift into something more serious. And then you are at the summer going, okay, what am I going to do now? Because I'm kind of stuck or maybe you really like it and you weren't expecting to be in that situation. So either way, I think that summer flings serve a purpose. So we're also going to talk today about the summer body, speaking of summer flings and what that looks like. So we're kind of talking about the beach bod versus the sweatpants. I love this one because those are two opposites of the spectrum so much, right? And so it's all about, to me, like just kind of being who you are. If you love going out on summer fling dates and stuff in your sweatpants or whatever, I love it. Just be you. I mean, I'd probably dress it up a little bit with a cute little top and some cute sweatpants, pull them up a little, some cute little shoes. But, whatever you want to do, if you want to work on your summer body, we're going to totally talk about this today because some people are cool the way they are. And I love that. Be you. What do you guys think?
I think that a summer body is just your body, as long as you're comfortable in it. If you think you need to lose weight, by all means, go and do the diet. Find the foods that are right for you and do that. But if you're comfortable with who you are, no matter what your weight, what you look like, if you're comfortable within yourself, why care about what everybody else thinks?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to lose the weight, whatever, like you said, do it for you, not because anybody, you're worried about what people are going to think or say when you go out. Do it because you want to feel better about yourself. You want to look better about yourself. I mean, it is what they say, it's like when you actually start doing it and you start seeing results, it motivates. It really does, and I'm still feeling so much better. So I don't know.
I mean, I went on this weight loss journey, and this wasn't because it was summer. It was because I got COVID and I lost 190 pounds. So, I lost more than what I weigh right now. So yes, it does build confidence within yourself. But if you're already confident with yourself, then there's no reason that everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry need to tell you, hey, you're too big for that bikini, or, you don't look good in those leggings. Fucking wear them anyways.
Wear the leggings if Tom, Dick, and Harry say it.
Yeah, being fit isn't just for the summer, guys. It's a lifestyle. It helps you evolve as a human. Once you dive into there, you get consistent with it. The results will show. It's all about how much you're willing to maintain it. Your confidence will probably enlighten your stress and your routine, and you can commit to evolving your summer body all year long.
Yes, you can do it all year long, as long as you are eating the correct foods that are right for your body. Sometimes we eat foods that we think are yummy, and we're not looking at the health benefits. If we're trying to be fit, we have to look at the health benefits of food. We can't eat the chips. I know, trust me, I do it.
I was just going to say, Mia, are you like a healthy eater for the most part? Would you say that you eat more healthy than not?
Yes, for the most part I am. And then like Sundays and Wednesdays, I will allow myself to have whatever I want. If I'm feeling up to it. Because sometimes I don't feel up to it. Sometimes food makes us feel awful. Like some of the foods that we eat, they can affect how we feel on an everyday basis. If we're eating a lot of junk food, we're going to feel like junk. But if we're eating a lot of healthy fruits and vegetables and eating the correct amount of protein, we're going to feel amazing.
Yeah. It's like 85 or 80% what you eat, 85% what you eat. People think it's always just the gym, but it really goes back to what you eat. I can do pretty good like during the day, and then in the evenings when I sit down to like watch TV or something, maybe have an edible, I'm like, munchies.
Oh, it's so funny that you mentioned that. When I get the munchies, I get munchies for fruits and vegetables, and it's so weird. It is.
I wish I did.
So what you do food?
In the comments, guys, can you let us know what your healthiest snack is that you eat? I am always up for trying something new, and I'm sure everybody else here is also. So if in the comments, if you guys could let us know what your favorite healthiest snack is, and maybe we can all try it and get fit together.
Yes.
Mine is hummus and crackers. I am
hummus and crackers. That's not that bad.
But I use Nutrigrains, like nut thins. They're made out of almond crackers. Oh my gosh, to die for.
So good.
With sea salt and some good old red pepper hummus. That is my go-to.
That's your go-to. I love good cheese and crackers. That's a solid staple for me. Somebody asked me that if I was on an island and I could only have one thing to eat, and I said cheese and crackers, which is totally wrong. I mean, I would really get my cookies that I love. You just asked me what my favorite munchie is at night. It's these cookies. They come from like Ralph's or I guess Kroger, depending on where you guys are. They're their brand. They're chocolate chunks sea salt caramel. I
Ooh,
can't. I know. And
that
I mean,
sounds
I'm not,
amazing.
you know, they're the take and bake or whatever, and you put them in, and I've got them down to a science. They're so good. Hello,
David says
precious.
raw
sweetie.
broccoli. Wait, was it David? Yes.
Raw broccoli, maybe with TJ's hummus, maybe.
I don't know. My favorite is to cut up some cucumbers and red bell peppers and maybe add a little bit of onion in there and take the ranch powder by Hidden Valley and just dust it on there. And it is so good. It's better than the ranch dip or the salad dressing. Plus, it's healthier for you also. There's no calories.
Healthy cheat meal the other day, and it might sound a little off, but it was just cream cheese wrapped in ham.
Oh, I love that. Or you could add a pickle in there, and also pepperoni and cream cheese is amazing.
Oh, y'all are getting silly now.
Add some peppers with that. Ooh.
Okay, we gotta stop talking about food. Okay.
Yes. Let's go on to
We're talking
routine.
about summer flings. So
Yeah.
are we keeping ourselves protected while we're doing these? Are we using protection?
Oh,
guys, we've got to be safe and healthy.
That's an interesting question. How many? Well, that's funny, Mia, because when you said summer flings, I was thinking like pretty much one fling for the summer, but it sounds like you're pluralizing it throughout the summer.
Well, no, we got multiple.
Have one when you can have multiple.
When you have, oh, I know what you mean there, girl.
The more the merrier, always.
What did she say in Man on the Street? She said,
"Why just have one when you can have multiple?"
Yes.
Yes,
you know, you got to have one over in Greece. You got to have one over in Rome.
There you go.
Your excursion, your getaways on a cruise ship.
Oh, these huge travel plans, and you're traveling from city to city, and you're in Boston one week, and you meet somebody, and you've got to be in New York the next week. Is that somebody going to follow you? But hey, we all need ours.
Yeah, there you
know what I'm saying. I mean,
there you go. Do you think there's any guilt that comes behind that during a summer fling, or is it that you're just like, you know what, it's my fun, it's my summer fun?
I think that there would be guilt if you go into this not knowing what's going to happen. If you go into this thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to create this relationship with this person, it's going to be long distance, and it's going to survive, and eventually one of us are going to move to the other city. But if you go into this knowing, hey, this is just a summer fling, I need to bring my condoms and my lube with me because we're going to just have fun, then I don't think I don't think you should feel bad about it.
But are you having that conversation? Like both parties need to be on.
Well, yeah,
right?
But of course, we're huge on communication here at Tangled.
Yes, we are.
We're going to discuss this with the other party first, of course.
Oh, how do you start that kind of conversation, Mia?
How do we start that conversation? Well, it depends on where you're at, where you're at in, if you guys are already in the bed, you can ask them, be like, hey, is this something that you want to pursue? Yeah. Or is this something that, is just going to be a fling? We're just going to have some fun. If you guys are sitting at the dinner table and you're like, I think I want to go home with this person, but I think I might catch feelings, then you're going to be like, hey, I would love to go home with you, but I think this is going to be a little bit much for me.
Yeah.
When the question is asked. But of course, I think communication is so important and making sure that both parties know what's going on. Hey, don't make a girl fall in love with you over the summer and plan on leaving her at the end and not tell her that at all. And same with guys. Women, you guys need to be upfront and honest, because some guys fall hard too.
Yeah.
Be upfront and honest and be like, hey, I'm here for 2 weeks. This is going to be a 2-week fun thing to do. And it's going to end there.
Here's the thing for me that I think sometimes, and this is just in all around dating, right? Doesn't even necessarily just need to be in a summer fling. But when you go into it, I always used to ask that question, like, what are you looking for? What's your ultimate goal here? And you're trying to see if they're looking for like a long-term relationship. And so when you're asking that, it's such a really silly question to ask so early on, because anything can change, right? You might go into something and you're hanging out just with somebody like in a summer fling, and then all of a sudden the next thing you know, you are catching feelings. they do something a little bit different. You find yourself looking at them a little bit different, or, you know, they show up dressed a little bit different. And I think it can sometimes change at the drop of a hat. So don't throw it out just because you're thinking it's only a summer fling. I'm seeing in the comments here, there's some people, David Powers said he married his summer fling. I think Andy said the same thing. You know, you just never know.
But as long as the communication is there from the beginning, and, you know, you're catching feelings, you're telling this person that you're catching feelings, and you're finding out if this person is catching feelings for you also. And then you can progress the relationship however it goes. We have to remember, and it's so big, that in any relationship that we have in life, as long as we are openly communicating our feelings, our thoughts, all of that, as long as we are openly communicating them, then there's no disappointment to be left on our part.
Yeah, great point.
Please, Deborah, throw all your questions in. I'd like to say my conditional guilt usually happens when summer flings are ending. You know, when it's time to wrap it up and, you know, everyone's got to go home, you know, I spend my time, you know, reminiscing all the time about, you know, I might be going on dates now, but, you know, there'll be nothing like my summer fling dates. Because we're serious, you know. Now I'm looking for someone that may be in my life for a while. You never know. But when it's that summer fling thing, I'm young, wild, and free.
So summer flings to you, TJ, are like, ooh, that's like a pedestal thing. That's like your hot summer.
Yes.
Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yes.
Every summer should be a hot summer, though, for everybody.
Yeah.
I could tell you, I've had some hot summers of the past. You know, are buried in the sand somewhere.
I love it. I love it.
But I do suggest, like, if you're catching feelings for this person and they are not catching feelings back for you, and you've openly communicated that, be okay with that, because in the beginning, you knew that this may only last a short period of time, and the other person may never catch feelings for you because it is just a fling for them. Having those hard feelings for your summer fling is difficult to get over too. And it's important to know that your mental health matters in this 100%, but you have to also remember, we went into this as a summer fling. Yeah. And we didn't know what was happening. The communication may not have been there, and they haven't texted for days, or they haven't answered you for days. Be okay with walking away from that situation because it just wasn't meant for you. Because in all honesty, if this summer fling is meant to last, it's going to last. It is going to get over those hurdles of being far apart. If it is meant to be. If you're meant to be with that person, it's going to happen.
I always think of that movie, The Notebook. That's my first movie I think of for like a summer fling. I know you were down the Grease train, TJ, summer loving.
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead and throw everybody that is watching. You guys are more than welcome to throw your questions in there as soon as we get a chance. And if we're not answering your question and you feel it's important, go ahead and add that extra comment of the question again. It's not going to bother us if you repeat yourself. I would love to answer them, but sometimes we're talking so much and we can't get to all of you. And we are going to have an email address for you very soon for you guys to be able to email us all of your questions.
Yes. Everybody's like, can I ask my question? Ask! We want to hear your question. Oh boy. People got questions on this one.
Ladies, do you guys have any summer fling fond memories that may have happened in your past?
I'm a seasonal flinger. Flings happening every season.
I've actually never gotten the opportunity to have a summer fling. I've never had that opportunity.
Because you've been married for 24 years.
Yes, 24 years.
Yes.
Oh.
Guys,
we're ready.
Fling chat or something like that, you know, have all the summer flingers come together as one.
All of them, like a little group. I'm not good at summer flings. Because I catch feelings and I'm not good at it. And I'll be the one going, what do you mean? What happened? I don't think I'm very, I'm the one you're talking about, Mia, when you're like, if they say no, let it go. I'm like,
It would be me so hard. I would be the one that catches feelings for everybody because I have such a big open heart and I think everybody is good. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just fall in love with you. It's okay.
Oh, that sounded like a pity.
No. It wasn't pity to them. It was pity for me because I'll fall in love with everybody. I am so glad I was snatched up.
Andrea, I've got a question for you, Andrea. Has any of your summer flings turned into friendships?
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah. Oh, wait. Are we doing friends with benefits or summer flings here?
All
right.
It lasted longer than a summer fling. It just flings up every once in a while.
Yeah. If we're gonna like compare those kind of things, I've had some summer flings that'll turn to a friendship, or like if I have a friends with benefits thing, I'm pretty good about laying down the law in the beginning so that it's like, hey, listen, I'm just not dating intentionally right now. I just want to have a companion, hang out with someone and go do fun stuff. That's kind of my summer fling, is more like find a friend that I already am into, lay down the rules, and then at the end of the summer, it's not so difficult because everything's set up front.
And then you can go do all that holiday stuff with the family.
So, ladies, how do you handle it when, a fling goes a little too far past the rules?
Yeah, boundaries, man. I don't know. Is that what you're referring to? Like they're not following your rules? Well, I can tell you, let's hope nobody's watching, but just happened to me. Why do I always have a story? I don't know. But yeah, I had a friend with benefits and he caught feelings. And then I was like, oh, no. We talked about this. So, we don't talk now. See, and that's another thing then, and it can end that friendship because I don't want to continue hanging out with him knowing that he does that he feels that way, because that's just not fair then. So I would rather just bow out and let time pass, and then I'll reach out later.
Hey, Olivia. Hey, Jenny. Welcome in.
Love that you guys are all here.
I know. It's so great that you guys are here. But I still didn't get that question answered. Are we using protection?
Everybody avoided the question.
I know. Everybody did. Are we using protection? It's so important because it can affect all aspects of our life if we're not using it.
Yes.
There's that possibility that this summer fling may turn into 18 years if we don't use protection. And do we really want to be committed to this summer fling for 18 years? And let's not mention the health issues that could happen from it. So while we're doing these summer flings, let's remember to bring our condoms. Don't forget the lube. Not everybody.
We don't need another Father's Day special.
There we go. We'll see you next Father's Day.
I want to answer Sunday Precious D's question. She said, the thing is, can I be friends with my ex, like close friends? And I'm answering that because I am. And I've talked about this before on here. I was married for 20 years and my ex-husband and I are very close. We talk all the time. We are there for our kids. We just have our own conversations and chat. We just chatted today and he was like, what's going on with your love life? And that is because we have gotten to a place where we know we were not the best match for each other. And so we want nothing but happiness for each other. And so we are that kind of person that we can have that conversation with, and that's okay. And I will say that we always have that clause of like, if we end up 65, 70 years old with nobody, we will reconnect at that point. Because I ain't going out alone. That's for sure.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. You guys got a reverse clause of a prenup there or something going on? I love that. I love that too. I might have to use that pretty soon. Be like, you ain't going nowhere, but if you go somewhere without me, I'm right there.
That's right. Just don't let the current girlfriend find our little agreement.
Well, you're great friends with your ex, but what happens when that ex gets somebody else and they're uncomfortable with that?
That has happened to me as well.
That's
it's
a big issue.
Yeah, it made it very difficult for our family dynamic. and I tried to befriend the person, I was doing nothing. There was no flirtiness. And to me, that was her issue. That wasn't my issue. I'm being completely respectful. And if somebody can't handle that relationship, I would all day rather to date somebody that is friends with their ex than at some screaming match, or I got to be worried they're going to show up at my house with light my car up or some crazy thing. I just, it's to me, it's an incredible thing to still be friends with an ex. Depending on what
you do, because they're an ex for a reason. You've decided that person is not the love of your life.
Yeah.
But you've created this relationship with this person and you've been with them for so long, whether it be a year or 18 years.
You've loved them at one point.
And you've created that relationship and that friendship. Like if anything happened between me and my husband, we would stay best friends. We are best friends, period.
See?
So,
and why should that disappear just because it didn't work as a romantic relationship? It shouldn't. You were friends first.
Jealousy. Women need to stop being so jealous of other women. We don't want your men.
Yes. And to answer Madison, I see your question on that too. And yes, I do agree. But I have also I'm friends with my ex-boyfriends as well. As long as I was not hurt in the situation, it was an amicable separation. We're both kind of moved on. We don't have those feelings. I would continue to be friends with my ex. Some people choose not to, but I don't know. I don't have a hard time.
So there was a couple guys that I had dated in middle school and high school. Well, early high school. I won't say high school. It was like freshman year. So it doesn't really count. But anyway, those were those fun, we're going to go out on dates kind of thing. We're going to go to the movies and hang out with a group of friends. But anyways, I stayed friends with those two guys all through most of my adulthood. We used to go, my husband would watch the kids and I would go over to their house and we'd play poker at night. It's all on your confidence and how confident you are within yourself to not have jealousy that your spouse is going to cheat on you. And having that open communication with your partner will create less jealousy in your relationship. So I wouldn't care if my husband was friends with somebody he just met and she was hotter than me because I'm confident in my relationship,
Yeah.
It's not out of jealousy because I'm not jealous of anybody. There's no reason.
Well, that was a little different, me, I think, because you have somebody new come in that's now some hot girl and all of a sudden they want to be friends with a new girl or something. Is that what you're kind of saying?
It's happened before with me. But I know where he comes to sleep at night. I know where, I know what he's doing all the time because we openly communicate. And that's the thing. We have such a good communication that there's no room for jealousy. There's absolutely no room for him to be jealous of the people that I talk to or for me to be jealous of the people that he talked to because our communication is so good.
Yeah.
I got to say, I really admire both of you for being willing to be friends with your ex. I am so warm-hearted that I would try my best to be friends with my ex, but I am very fearful of what my current position would be. If I am in a relationship, I am fearful of every which way that my woman would think that I am cheating on her in any type of way.
Okay, love that. But has that happened in the past? Has that happened in past relationships before with you, where women have been jealous?
Has that happened? Yes, of course.
Okay,
and that's where my trauma is, because I'm like, I know you have a certain standard that you want to live to, and I'm going to try and keep it that way, best for us.
As long as open communication is there, then that shouldn't be an issue. As long as you and your girlfriend, you and your fiance are speaking, there's no room for that jealousy. So even if it was you ran into an ex on the street And I know this happens a lot. I've seen it a lot on TikTok. I've seen it a lot on Instagram, where I know it's staged, but it happens in real life, where the man is walking down the street and he happens to see his ex and his girlfriend is with him, and she blows up because she's pissed because he even looked in her direction.
I hear that, but I think the fear is even just sparking the idea to make you think that way. You know, that's where my fear lies.
Okay, hold on. I have to address this one in the comments. Okay. Percy Allison says, I want to ask, what if you are about to get married to someone and you find out that he is dating your best friend? Okay, if you are about to,
wait, what?
No, I think I know what they mean. Okay, so there's been no talk of an open relationship, and you're with this person and you're getting married to this person, but they are dating someone else at the same time, and you do not know about this. So my suggestion is to walk away, because there was no open communication with the open relationship to begin with, and there will never be open communication in that situation.
Are we walking away from the man and the best friend? Because
we're walking away from both.
Yes.
We're absolutely 100% walking away from both. And I am sorry that this has happened to you if this is your situation, but I highly suggest, so you do not have that fear that this person is ever going to leave you. You're not going to have that fear when they tell you, I'm never going to do this again, but the possibility is always going to be there. And whether or not they actually do it again, you're always going to think that it's going to happen.
Every time they're alone.
So that fear of disappointment is always going to be there for you. And my suggestion is, it's completely up to you what you decide to do. But my suggestion is to walk away. There is somebody out here that is willing to love you the way that you deserve to be loved. And if you are not feeling deserving of the love that they are giving, there's somebody else for you.
Yeah. Great.
I always say sneaky now and you'll be sneaky later.
Sneaky now, sneaky later. I love the question that NWEDE Nelson asked. Would you rather be loved deeply but hurt once, or loved lightly but never lied to? Ooh, I am all about like a really good love. I think we are meant to be loved. We are meant to feel love. Love is an incredible thing. And if it means getting hurt at some point, I would be willing to take that risk to have that love. That's me. Anybody else?
There's a lot of layers to that question for me. Would you rather be loved deeply but hurt once? I mean, I think you truly don't learn love until you find that certain someone that's willing to, love you deeply, and then to be hurt by that person, or, be hurt and while finding that person, I think that's something that I can live with, because, you live and you learn as you go on through your own relationships. But being loved lightly and never lied to, I think if you're going to love me, love me with your whole heart. Don't love me with that 25%. I don't want that. That's like giving me 50-50, but, your emotion really isn't there.
I agree. If you are going to love me hard, because I love hard back. So if you're not willing to give that hard love, I would have to walk away.
Move on.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I also loved Host Your Coast question. Would you ever fall for someone you met online? Welcome to my world right now. Have we heard of Bumble, Hinge, Match, Tinder? Yeah, absolutely. I think you can fall for someone you meet online. I have always had pros and cons about the dating sites. If you're asking about that, I talk all the time about it on my podcast. But I think that when you do a dating app, you have to be prepared for how it's going to go. You have to have the assumption that whoever you're talking to is probably talking to multiple other people at the same time, because that is the whole thing. And a lot of times people don't want to get off the dating app. So they're there to make a companion, a pen pal. I'm never personally looking for a pen pal on there. So I'm kind of like, let's meet, let's chat, let's Let's move on, see if there's a connection. But yeah, I absolutely think that you can fall for somebody. I've had a relationship twice actually with people that I met online. So yeah, you just got to be diligent in your research, checking them out before you meet them. Make sure you're meeting them in a safe place, that somebody knows where you are. Make sure you're getting, their last name, their information, all of that good stuff, and go into it without any expectations and an open mind.
All right, we're going to answer one more question from this segment, and this is going to be from Nelson. Who catches feelings faster, men or women? I will tell you 100% it will be women. Women love, and they love hard and fast.
Yes.
Men can sometimes catch feelings first, but it doesn't happen as often as people think it does. It is definitely women. Women find so many things to love about every single person that they start with the love of your face. They start with the love of your voice. They start with the love of your eyes. They love the look that you give. It always starts off with something small, and they find something they love about you, and then they learn more about you.
Well, and then you bring sex into the whole thing. Once you have sex, I mean, as women, we release serotonins, and now we have that's what happens with us. Why we kind of sometimes say to hold off on having sex with somebody if you are really having feelings for them, because it's just going to enhance those feelings for women. All of a sudden, we are like, "Whoa, this man, I'm so in love." And like I've said, you don't know anybody for 6 to 8 months. So we're all in love with the potential of what it could be, what it could look like in the future. And that you definitely don't want to do.
Absolutely.
Bound chicka wow can get put on you, and you just all in. I love it. I definitely agree that women do fall in love quicker. I've seen women just fall in love with me from just looking at me. You just never know. I love going off.
It's happening right now, TJ. It's happening right now.
But it's true. Women find something that they really like about you, and they attach themselves to it. It could be your eyes. You have very pretty eyes today, and I'm severely attracted to them that I need to talk to you and tell you so much about your eyes. It could be your shoes. You look really good in your outfit, things of that nature. You smell good. There are so many things, so many strings that just pull women in.
Okay, so Abba brought up a really good point, and she said, sometimes we see red flags, but we love too much to give up on them. We see past your red flags, so far past your red flags.
Yes.
Oh gosh. And to answer the quick question there about who cheats the most, men or women, unfortunately, it's women. Statistics say it's slightly higher that women do. Just that way. I don't have any more notes on that, but
the reason behind it is because lack of communication. Men are least likely to communicate with women, and we get sick of it. So we decide that we're going to go find another man that's not going to listen to us.
Yeah. I think when women emotionally detach themselves, they detach themselves all the way, and there will be no way of regaining that.
True.
No.
True. That is 100% true.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and move on. I wanted to hit on a certain subject tonight that has the whole world in uproar when it comes to relationships. When we come back from our little break, we're going to be talking about the age gap.
Ooh. Digging that one. I'm ready.
Are you someone that sleeps? Our studies show you likely are. Designed for side sleepers straight out of the box, the Pillow Fight Haymaker Loft can be adjusted for back or stomach sleepers in mere seconds. Look at your current pillow. Face it, it's nasty. Our competition uses these cheap blobs of foam that just aren't comfortable or supportive. Pillow Fight's proprietary noodle-shaped foam blend rebounds quickly for maximum cool, comfort, and support. Oh yeah. Our naturally cooling cover will have you dreaming in no time. Handmade in the USA. Pillow Fight. Invest in your rest.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
3 years younger than me is the max.
Okay.
Older than me, I don't know, 10 years.
Awesome. Okay. How about
older? Younger, probably 2.5.
A few years is fine. I think it's more the maturity level and their own mental state as far as their level of maturity versus the actual age.
I mean, my wife is a year older than me. I'm not normally one who gets hung up on age gaps. I don't know, maybe 5 years,
5 years?
maybe 10, but I'll go 5 and just be safe and say 5.
Okay.
I think between 15 and 20 years old.
Okay.
But I think if it starts, it's not the same if you have someone that it's 40 dating someone 20 or 30 someone 18. But if you're in your 50s and you're dating someone 30, the maturity gap is not that big that there.
Well, let's be loud and clear.
Yes.
18 and 19 are not adults.
Respected.
So if you are over that age, you should not be dating in that age. Okay,
I hear you.
let's period. But I think it's up to every person after that fact that, it's whatever way you're comfortable with. I'm almost 40 and I date younger, and sometimes I date much older. It's just whatever, I think whoever you feel comfortable with.
Awesome.
As long as you're not predatory about it.
Gotcha. Okay, so all predators aside, age does not have a love number.
Yeah, but only because they were just asking for 2 seconds at a bar and they were 22, and I'm like, hey man, I'm 10 years older than you. No, thank you. But I would not like any serious dates.
No, have not.
Okay.
No, like I said, I've been dating her since I was in college, so it's been a long time since
Awesome.
I've been in a date.
Yes.
Yes.
I have only only because I've tried to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
And just in early conversations, like on, Tinder or whatever, they just didn't really seem emotionally mature. They seemed mature for their age.
All right.
So just, that emotional maturity has to be there regardless of however old you are.
All right, guys. So on the first date, keep your Peter Piper in your pants.
All right, guys.
Piper in your pants.
All right, we're going to talk about it. The age gap. What is a good age gap? When is it too much? Is there such thing as too much? Everyone has their own opinion, and I'm going to tell you mine. Love, commitment, trust, understanding, honesty, and communications. Those are the things that matter in a relationship, not your age. I know there's only 11 months between me and my husband, but I am big on this. If you love somebody for who they are, you are communicating, they love you back, age should not play a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
What if it's like a 6-year-old with a 20-year-old?
If that 20-year-old is, I'm being honest, if that 20-year-old is old enough to make decisions like that and they find love in that 60-year-old that maybe they're not going to find in a 20-year-old because they're too mature for a 20-year-old, then yes, by all means, go for it.
Do you think you truly can find love at 20 years old in a 60-year-old man or woman?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think that there is a limit on love when it comes to age. I don't think that we should put a limit on love when it comes to age. Of course, we're not going for minors. We're not going for 18, 19, we don't do those things. As a healthy human being, we're not looking at those. I mean, if a 60-year-old finds an 18-year-old, yes, that is an issue for me because that 18-year-old is just barely an adult.
Yeah.
Barely, it doesn't even know what adulting is yet. They're still living at home. They don't have, at 20 years old, you should no longer be living at home unless you're in college. And at that point, you're on a college campus. If you fall in love with your professor, you fall in love with your professor at that point. And that's how I feel. When you're no longer at home and relying on mom and dad, that's when I feel like you're an adult and can make those adult decisions on, yes, I can date a 60-year-old. If you're living at home and you're providing your own means and mom and dad aren't buying your groceries and, because there's some 30-year-olds, especially in this economy, that are still living at home. And that's okay too. But make sure that when you're looking for a relationship and love, that you're not relying on your parents to provide that relationship for you. And that's what I'm getting at. If you can provide for that relationship on your own as an adult, then yes, you're old enough to make that decision to date that 60-year-old at 20 years old. But if you're relying on mom and dad to pay your car bill, your phone bill, and buy your groceries and your shampoo, conditioner, and toothpaste, then absolutely you cannot make those decisions for yours. You're not mature enough to make those decisions.
But I can wipe my own ass.
I don't give a shit if you can wipe your own ass because a 2-year-old can.
So TJ, have you ever fallen for your professor?
I have not fallen for my professor, but it's funny you actually brought that up. I was just talking about this earlier today and how, these young professional teachers that are just, falling for these 14, 16-year-olds. It's been reoccurring, like a reoccurring theme this year. It's very interesting to see what's going on with these developments, honestly. And it gives me a certain ick. But also, it's like, what was I doing at 14? I wasn't getting these 22-year-olds. What is going on that side of the table?
At that point, it is the adults' problem because these kids don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah,
and these adults
somebody's not paying attention.
But we're not really going to focus on those types of relationships right now. We're going to focus on that age gap adult relationship. We don't want to bring kids into this situation at all.
Please, no.
We're not dating kids. we should never even think about dating kids. So we're going to leave those out, and hopefully those predators are caught and put in jail and done all of those things that are supposed to be done to them.
Yes. So I'd say my original age gap for me being, 29 right now, I probably have to go from 21 and up. I can't go any lower than that. I just don't see myself going any younger than that because I'm so mature now. And I think that those age right before 21, you have so much ambition and so much high hopes for your life that it's just like I don't really want to indulge myself in what you have going on because I'm already kind of established in life.
Yeah. And would you date older, or you kind of stay in the lower?
So I got asked this question earlier this week. I'm kind of that man on the street where, I can just go up to 100 years old if you need me to. You let me know how you want to be served, and if there is love I can serve to you, I'm all for it.
Wow.
All right. I want to address one of the questions here by Chris Marr. Between women and men, who are always being blamed and I'm guessing for divorce? I'm going to be completely honest with you. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
There is no one gender that is going to be blamed more. It's all in communication. We talk about this so often. If you're communicating with your partner, then you have come to the conclusion that you need to get a divorce, then go for it. But if you're not communicating with your partner and you've come to the conclusion that you need to get divorced, then maybe you should communicate with your partner that that's your plan to do. That way, there is no blame put on each other in that instance. When you're openly communicating and you're saying, hey, I expected flowers for my anniversary and I didn't get them. And that's another thing. And we'll discuss that in just a second. Or, they stayed out too late with their coworkers one night and you've come to this conclusion that they're spending more time with other people. The communication wasn't there in the beginning because those things should have been discussed in the beginning. There should never be one gender that is being blamed more for divorce. Both men and women cause divorce by lack of communication.
Yeah. And if we're touching back on that, and we're talking about the age gap, so I'm like all over the place on this one. Me and I had a conversation about it the other day because I'm like, I came out of my divorce of my marriage, for 20 years. And I was like, I'm going young. I was 43. He was 28, I want to say. Ooh. But I'll tell you, we had nothing in common. And it was very eye-opening for me. I remember we went to like a Bon Jovi cover band concert and I was like, this is amazing. And he's like, who are they? He wanted to leave. And I was like, what? So yeah. And then honestly, like sexually, everything was just different. We were not on the same playing field there. So I think there's so many different things. Everybody's different. I do prefer older men only because I like a little bit of that stature. And I think I always have. I remember watching Dirty Dancing for the first time at 14 years old, and Patrick Swayze was 35, and I couldn't sleep for a month thinking about him. So it's where it all started for me. But
yeah,
right?
Thinking about it.
Yeah. So it just kind of depends. And it depends on what you're looking for and at what point in your life you're at. Like right now for me, I'm kind of open to whoever it might be. With younger guys right now, it's more difficult because they're still wanting kids, and I find in that age limit, right when it turns over to like, I think I set my filters around 43, 44. If I go younger than that, then there is a little bit more of an immaturity. No offense, TJ. And
let me scratch my head over here.
And they are quite often wanting kids. So that rules it out a lot for me. So I do tend to go older. So that makes it a little bit more difficult at times.
And now, see, you spoke on the maturity level of who you dated in the past, and
Yes.
it has made you move that age gap from younger to older.
Yes, but there's
Okay.
still immature older men as well.
Right,
You
exactly.
can,
And that's
yeah,
what I was going to hit on is
yeah,
maturity is not an age thing.
right.
It is totally a mental capacity thing.
Yes.
It is on how we learn when we're younger and how we're taught when we're younger. So it has nothing to do with the parenting. It's how we comprehend things.
Yes.
So if we can better comprehend things, then we're going to be more mature.
Yeah.
So it goes on both sides. There are some women that are way more mature than at 20 years old than some 50-year-old women. And same goes for men. There are some 20-year-old men that are way more mature than these 50-year-old men.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's why age shouldn't really matter as much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to ever date again, I don't think I would make age a factor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be more of who am I more compatible with maturity level and communication level, and are they going to be honest with me? Are they going to be open with me? And looking at all of those things rather than, oh my God, he's hot.
Right.
Or, something like that. Looking at the physical features of somebody is not always the best thing to find a relationship. Because some of those people that we may not find physically attractive may be our person.
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting that you spoke about honesty within this, though, Mia, because I was reading some of the fun facts that were up about age and dating. And one of them was that a lot of people tend to lie on the dating apps about their age. And the one thing that always gets me is when you go into the app, it asks you your birth date. So I don't, and then people will put in whatever. They don't allow you to change it, I'm sure for a reason, because they're trying to kind of rule that out of being able to just change it when you want to change it. But it always kills me when people write in their profile, the age is wrong, don't know why. You know why. You put in a different birth date. And so why are they doing that? Because you're starting off with a lie right off the bat. You're starting off with a lie. And so they're putting in different ages, sometimes for the algorithm. And I can also understand it from the side of you might have somebody who is older, maybe like the Golden Bachelor. If we talked about that, the Golden Bachelor, usually they find a pretty attractive man. He's a little bit older. He's probably, if he's late 60s, early 70s, he might not be looking to date somebody that is in his 60s because he could be very much in shape. Maybe he's very younger mindset. Looks younger. So he's looking for somebody younger, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that's sometimes why people lie, but you got to be careful in there because you don't want to start out on a lie.
All right.
Yeah, I also wanted to speak out to the younger men out there. Don't
Please.
be afraid to go after these older women. I mean,
cougars.
Not saying they're cougars, but that we are all available and ready for a prowl. So don't be afraid to step outside of your box. I know you at the age of 24, 25, I was kind of hesitant about going after older women because I didn't think I was down that maturity level that they wanted. But sometimes you might surprise yourself. So don't be afraid to step out of the box and go after these older women.
I agree, because sometimes they're not looking for maturity. Sometimes they've been hurt so bad and they just need that fun.
Yep.
To be honest. And it may not be a long relationship. It may be one of those summer flings. But go for it and make it fun for them. Even though, this is fun for you too, because hey, you got that older woman, she's hot. All your friends are like, hey, man, what you doing over there? How'd that happen?
For life right there.
Right. All right. I do want to hit on one of these questions. Why Chipple says, why do we have to marry someone older than us? And you don't. You do not have to marry someone older than you. You do not have to marry someone younger than you. You have to marry someone that is going to love you for you. And that is 100% it. It doesn't matter how much older they are than you. It doesn't matter how much younger they are than you. As long as they are going to love you for you and treat you the way that you deserve to be treated, and you treat them the way that they deserve to be treated, and the communication is there should be no issue with you getting married. And if your family doesn't agree with it or your friends don't agree with it, there is something called a JP, Justice of the Peace. They are at every courthouse in every city, and they would love to have you walk right up in there and say, I want to get married today. I am a JP. I'm a JP wedding. Okay. And I will promote that 100%. We were not supported, but we did it anyways.
I love that. I do love one question in here that Hostia Coast asked, why do situationships come with more stress than relationships? Oh, that's a good one.
Communication.
Lack of communication. And one person has always has different expectations than the other. And if you have that, it's never going to work, because you're going to sit in this situationship until somebody decides to get out. So if that's not what you're wanting, don't settle. You're not settling for breadcrumbs. That's not what we're here for. We want the real, all-consuming love. Huh?
Yeah. The answer is right in the name for me. It's a situation.
It's a
that here and now. Yep. It's not meant to go longer than this situation that we're in right now.
But if the communication is there and you both love each other, it can go farther. But don't ever try to make the relationship more than what it actually is.
That's right, TJ. Then it becomes a relationship.
Esther asks, is it possible for a male friend to fall in love with his female friend? Absolutely. Yeah. You guys are spending time together. You guys have created this friendship. And to be honest, those sometimes become some of the best relationships because that friendship is there first. And that's what we lack sometimes, is we jump into relationships and we don't create our friendship first. So the communication is lacking until we can create that friendship with our love partner. So creating a friendship first is always, always best. And I always suggest that, rather than jumping into something like summer fling. You're going to create a friendship over that summer fling. If you have a situationship, you're going to create a relationship, a friendship over that. Whether you guys stay friends after that is completely up to you.
Oh, yeah. I would love to touch on this question that Nelson asked earlier. He said, what is a lesson that love has taught you the hard way? And I'd say for me, honestly, you never know what you got until it's gone. I've had to testify on that for myself. I was deeply in love with a young girl at the time, and I just didn't see how much benefit I was gaining from it. And then we parted ways, and I was like, oh, that could have been my soulmate. And now I will never talk to her a day of my life again.
I think that is one of the biggest things that you're hitting on there, TJ, is we take things for granted. We don't appreciate where we are in the moment and who we are with in the moment. And especially in the days that we're in today, there is so much of, on TV, on social media, so much temptation. We're always looking for that next shiny object. And the next shiny object is not always the best thing for you. Quite often, it doesn't turn out the way you think it's going to. And if you just sat and watered the grass that is right in front of you, you will actually see it start to grow. And that's really super important, is to really take care of the relationship that you're in and give it your full attention. And you will be so shocked at how amazing your relationship can be. And other things won't matter at that point. I would say the same thing for the biggest thing, is that you don't know what's gone until it's gone.
Nelson also asked, is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating? Any kind of cheating is bad. I will say that first. Emotional cheating hurts more because when you are emotionally cheating on somebody, you are lacking communication with that partner. And you're creating expectations when you're telling this partner, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then emotionally, you're not doing those things. So I think emotional cheating is worse than actually physically cheating. I would rather somebody go out and have sex. I would rather my husband go have sex with somebody than create an emotional connection with somebody, because
I've
sex
been in a
always
relationship.
does not, right. Sex is not always an emotional connection. Sometimes we just go have sex because we're horny. But to have that emotional connection with somebody, even without the physical aspect of it, I feel would be worse.
I think you're right, Mia, because I had that in a relationship that I was in, and he was having an emotional affairs, and it was more hurtful, being real honest here, it was more hurtful than if he had gone out and done that physically with somebody, because you think you have this connection with somebody, you know this person, they know you, and you have this incredible connection together, and to find out that they're sharing those secrets, those stories, having those same conversations with other people, I think is just really hard to fathom.
Or even if, and this is big, when they create those relationships with those other people, they start using those pet names that they used on you with the other person. And that is what really hurts sometimes. They start using the pet names that they've used with you, and they're using them with the other person. And you're like, oh my God, I'm not that anymore to them. And that's when it starts to really hurt, because then the other party has put so much into the relationship, they don't realize it's happening. And when they find out, they're like, but I was doing all of those things. I was there for this person. And yet they still walked out and created this emotional relationship with somebody else. So the hurt is going to be more than if you go out and you have sex with somebody else and you come back and they find out. Pretty much they're going to be pissed, obviously, 100% pissed. And they're going to be like, hey, I'm done. But that emotional cheating, it's something that women and sometimes men are more willing to stick around after. And then it sticks around with them a little bit longer too. So just because you haven't physically cheated on them, they'll stick around because it was just emotional at that point. So it's a little bit more difficult when it comes to the emotional cheating, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, I can agree with you there. Emotional cheating is very heavy for me. I think that, with emotions that they get involved in relationships wherever you go. It could be your work relationships, your household relationship with your children. Those emotions arise all the time, and they play a key part in just your whole lifestyle. I really don't understand how someone can emotionally cheat, because it is debilitating to me.
It can be, but as the other party, you can also look at it this way, and not saying that it's okay. That person wasn't okay with themselves at that point, so they weren't okay with you. And the lack of communication there was, they were in a bad mental spot in their own life, so they were seeking it elsewhere rather than burdening you. And that could be a possibility. Of course, it's going to hurt regardless, because we should never emotionally cheat on our partner that we are with, that we say that we love, that we sleep with every night, that we come home to and we cook dinners with and we go do fun things with. Why are we even putting ourselves in the situation to have that emotional connection with somebody else? Okay, she flirted with you. No big deal. Walk away. Just because somebody says I'm pretty or I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I'm going to stop and have a conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm married. I'm not going to open myself up for somebody to have that ability over me and my relationship. So you need to have that control yourself also. So that way you're not opening yourself up to others to be able to have that emotional relationship with you either. Because if you're opening yourself up to other people's emotions, in that aspect, then hello, it's going to happen.
Yep, exactly. Oh, you got an admirer in here, Mia.
Oh, thank you, Jason. That's so sweet. But I am 100% taken, and I'm not going anywhere. I apologize. No, actually, I don't apologize. I'm proud that I'm married.
Hey, I'm single. No, I'm just kidding.
Andrea is single. She is gorgeous. She lives on the West Coast, but that's about all I'm going to tell you.
You guys be careful there.
Starting our own dating show.
What? I know, there you go. Matchmaker Mia.
I was about to say we're about to hitch Andrea and not even know about it.
There you go.
Wow, this could be fun. Let's see who we get me set up with.
Okay, we got Andrea's blind dates going on.
I love
it. There we go.
Next
Yes.
episode.
I will be the matchmaker. Hell yeah. I'm all for that.
And I'm going to be the best friend to tell you, no, girl, he ain't good for you.
He ain't no good for you. I need that friend. That's awesome.
I like this one.
Oh my gosh.
Para Commando says you don't lose a real one. Real ones don't put you in a position to lose them. Absolutely 100%. Mm-hmm. And this is how I feel. If the person is going to cheat, it has already been in their mind. It is nothing that you did wrong. It is nothing that you said wrong. If the person is going to cheat, it's automatically within them. And that is why we have this wonderful thing called a poly relationship. And you can open and have an open relationship, but the communication has to be there first. You guys have to open that up together, and it cannot be one-sided. You can't pressure somebody into a poly relationship. It's something that you both discuss, and you both want to have an open relationship and both want to date other people. And that's okay too. You don't have to have a monogamous relationship. We're not all here for monogamy. I truly, honestly believe that we are not meant to be a monogamous society, because there is so much cheating. There is so much looking at others. There's always that human aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to tag on what you also said about not losing a real one if you don't put them in a position to do that, that goes back again to watering and fertilizing your own grass. If you don't crack that door open, nobody's coming in. You got to keep it door closed and keep it, unless you want them to. Yeah.
I'm going to say something really quick, because Godwin said that I must have gone to the best university. I have not gone to university. I have no degree in psychology. I am 41 years old. I have been married for 24 years, and I have had a lot of experiences in different types of relationships. I am a bi woman. That is very proud of that. So I have had experiences with open relationships. I have had experiences with bad family. I've had experiences with not being in the best place in my marriage. We have gone through horrible times where we've said that big D word to each other. It's all about open communication with us, and being able to be here and share my experience with you guys is amazing. But I do not have a degree. I don't want to claim that I have a degree in any type of psychology here. No one is single and accepting applications. Go. Yes.
I was going to say, on my end, for me, I did study at the university, but I did not study any psychological things. But I did study communications, where you can read a person and you can tell a lot by just reading that person. So that's how I've, kind of maneuvered through life, trying to perfect my understanding of what I'm reading from a person.
Well, since we're all touching on that on my side, I am not certified, but I do have my own podcast called From Mrs. to Ms., where I talk about relationships and dating, how to reclaim your life. So that's where I come from. I interview a lot of people, so I learn from doing that. I've also been married for 20 years, divorced, dating. So I am living and walking exactly what I'm talking about. And, I think that's the best part, is you learn along the way. And it's funny because I can sit here and talk about my own dating life and all these things going wrong with it. It's funny how you see it in everybody else. I could absolutely be a therapist to somebody and tell them, hey, he's just not that into you, or, you know, get yourself out of the situation, or you need to do this, or change your profile to do that. But you don't see it for yourself. So sometimes we got to stop and look at ourselves inside and take the information that we get from others and use that to our benefit.
Absolutely. And there's been times where in my marriage where people have told me, why are you still there? And it's because I love him. It's because, and you know, men have, and I'm not saying all men, but some men have a difficulty opening up emotionally. And we went through that part where he, you know, when we were early in our marriage, where he wasn't willing to open up emotionally, but through communication and being openly communicating, although that took some time also, we've been able to be where we are today and not divorced.
I love that.
Chris says maybe go for
Chismart 54. TJ.
I think we are setting up some positive matches here today. I think the people are wanting us to set up a blind dating show. But I also hope that we're untangling a lot of heartstrings for you guys, and you know, allowing you guys to be able to step out on your own without us there.
Absolutely.
And you can come back and tell us about it in all you want.
Absolutely. Next week, we will have a email address for you guys to be able to email us over our slight break we're going to take after next week. You can email us all of our questions, and when we come back after our break, we will definitely get to all of your questions. Oh gosh, not gonna lie, if I find a match in this live, my day is
Wizzy 25 and NWD Nelson. I'm seeing a match here.
Para Commando says sometimes the person you want the most is the one you're better off without. Absolutely.
Fortunately.
100% believe that. Sometimes the person that we think is best for us really isn't what's best for us. The universe has somebody else out there just waiting for us to find them.
Yeah. And the biggest thing they say is if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. It's hard, but believe them.
You're going to drag me with you. No, you're not going to be able to drag me anywhere, buddy.
Unfortunately, she's smart. I am not available for the taking right now, but you know, there's always someone out there for you.
Oh my gosh, you guys have the best questions. There's so many good questions that you are creating these incredible conversations and bringing things to light, which is exactly what we're looking for and need to do, because people need to understand and hear other people's situations, because then you're going to take a look at yourself and implement that as well. So that
is how we learn.
Yay! Mizzy is in.
If I'm going to set up a blind date, all right, I will figure out how to make a dating app. And yeah, I can't code, guys. So there will be no me a matchmaker.
Actually, Mia, we could have them email their profiles in for you.
Oh,
to the email.
That could work.
Hold on. I have a slight idea. I'm going to have to talk to my production company, but maybe we could feature a couple of you guys on one of our episodes and try to set something up. We'll have to find out. That would be so much fun. We could really do be a matchmaker.
Hey.
I love that.
Amazing. All right, guys. I know that we have helped you untangle some amazing heartstrings today, whether it be about your summer flings and getting fit for them, or that wonderful age gap. And I say wonderful because sometimes it's even better than wonderful, and it leads to amazing things. So until next week at 9:30 Sunday night, right here where you view us now, we will see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
violin sings as the credits roll. A melody soft, it soothes the soul.